the South Americas down here. So this island here, which is Dominica, the actual name is Waitukubuli.
Could you write it for us?
Yes.
Please. So it is the Dominica, Isla de Dominica? Okay. Why?
This is a lot more exciting than being born in Park Heights.
No, everything is exciting.
Yes.
Waitukuli means what?
I'm sorry.
Waitukuli means what? I messed up. It's Kubuli. Okay.
Waitukubuli, it means long as her body, or tall as her body.
Can you tell us which part means long and her body?
Hold on.
So kubuli means body. Or kubu. Kubu.
Kubu means body, or and li would represent the her.
Her, okay.
Yeah. And then long.
Long is Y. And tu is as.
So, I guess cause you know in native languages, like, for example, like, Mateyaba is just our greeting, where here you might have what's up, hello, good morning, and so forth. So, so it could translate, so in the English would say long as her body, but what we say is long body her. So, yeah. So.
And what's the name of your language?
My tribe is,
I'm so impressed that you speak the language. Who taught you?
I can't reach, let me write lower.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry that I'm making you do this, but it's important for us. Yes.
Kalinago is, but that's the name that we are referred to as known, in like all over the world, or you would call my tribe. But when we call ourselves, we actually say Karinaku.
Karnaku.
So we actually are Karinaku.
Which means?
I don't really know, I didn't get from my family what really the Karinaku is, but we are, if you're familiar with, if you did language, so Inieri,
Yeah.
from the South Americas. So our language is a mix of Inieri and Arawakan language. So we are actually known as the Carib Indians.
The Carib Indians.
Yes, so, a lot of you probably heard recently about the Tainos.
Yes.
So most people
And
will
Puerto
confuse
Rico.
us, yeah. So we're known as the Carib Indians. So next time somebody tells you the Carib people are dead or the Kalinagos are dead, you can say I've met one. And I come from 2 Kalinago grandmothers.
Okay.
So.
Forgive me for diverging. Kali is the most important figure in the Indus Valley civilization. She is dark and black to signify her power and strength. And she is the leader. Kali means time, she's timeless. Today, tomorrow, yesterday. That's where calendar comes from. So what does Kali mean in your language?
I'm actually not sure, but I know it's her, right?
It's her.
So, and the word ka in most native languages means no. So I know it's her, but I'm not sure what the nago is, cause it doesn't come a lot in our languages that we speak. Because there's another, student, and I'm so grateful for her, she's not, native, but she got her doctorate in studying our Kalinago language. So I get to work with a few people from the islands, and we're just working on preserving and redoing our language. So even getting here, I'm just ayahora for this moment. Ayahora means gratitude, thank you, to just talk a little bit about this, because I don't often get to do this. So yes.
Thank you. And again, you changed the word for thank you?
Ayahora.
Ayahora?
Yes.
Can you spell it?
Yes.
I know that's a little high, and even I haven't.
Okay, so, it's
Ayahora.
and then, so it's, you might see the spelling, the variation with an I here, so it's pronounced Ayahora. Iyahora, like a Iyahora. So it means thank you or gratitude.
Thank you.
Everybody on the count of 2. 1, 2.
So our next question would be, how does reparations tie into your work organization? Let's start with you, Lenny.
Well, I do a lot of writing. I'm an opinion writer in newspapers and magazines. I also own a theater where I show classic and independent films. And one of the things that I do at my theater in Pikesville is that we try our best with the independent films to give independent artists an opportunity to show their films, and some of them are about reparations, and some of them are what we call legacy films, films that you should see, films that, no, it's not gonna be about robots and dinosaurs and things like that, but it's gonna be about from where you come from. So we, as constantly as possible, I try to make sure that our films really reflect from where we are, where we've been, and you have to figure out where we need to go. And the media is a strong either advocate or enemy of moving reparations along. And you have to be very careful of the imagery in which you're seeing right now. Be extremely cautious of what you're seeing, who you're giving these imageries to, how are you allowing your young people, especially your little siblings or your neighbors or stuff like that, to pay attention to what they're seeing. When they're on the phone all day, they're not seeing this sister who's telling stories that mean things. They are seeing other things. And so their reaction is similar to what they see. So your battle right now, to answer your question, your battle right now is start controlling the imagery. Who is telling your story? Who is telling your stories the right way? Now, everybody likes a little humor. Everybody likes a little comedy. Everybody likes a little entertainment. I'm down, I got that. But who is telling your stories? Because sooner or later, you're not gonna recognize your stories. Your stories blend in. Your music has now, there's no such thing as soul music. There's music. Quincy Jones said this, we were at a panel maybe 30 years ago. And Quincy Jones said in this panel, he said, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between black music and music. And what was the difference all the time in music, speaking of my sister from the island and the storyteller that's here, is that music told the story.
Right.
So if music and media is not telling the story, you gotta start telling the story. You've gotta start, when you think about, when I wrote an opinion recently that you saw about Black Power. People suggest that there's no such thing as Black Power anymore. But what it is it's just morphed. It's a different approach. It's not back when in the 70s and 60s when the police was whipping my ass up and down the street because we were protesting things. We did that and got beat up, and one eye, which I am right now, I'm blind in one eye, is because of the fact we didn't want you. So reparation is a handoff. It may not happen in my lifetime, but I'm handing it off the responsibility to you so you can hand it off to the next generation. So I appreciate your time.
How does reparations tie into your work or organization?
So reparations ties into my work because everything I do is focused on the idea of equity, of creating opportunities for Black folks that are not just equal, meaning everybody gets the same thing, but that are tailored to put us into the same place. So if you have a door at the front of your building and you say everyone can enter through this door, everybody has an equal opportunity. Well, if someone is in a wheelchair, that's not an equal opportunity. In order to have equity, they need a ramp. We need to give everybody an opportunity to enter through this door. So just saying the door is open for anyone, that's not equity because we're not all starting from the same place. So we have to have some intentional accessibility. One of the ways that I have worked on creating some subset of reparations in the area of improv, which is really the focus of my work. Improv theater, for anybody who's not familiar, is the art of creating theater without a script. It's spontaneous theater. If you've seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, if you're familiar with Wayne Brady, that's improv. Improv, kind of like tennis or golf, is a traditionally very, very white space. And there have been a lot of theater owners who have said, oh, we want Black improvisers, we want Black people involved, we just don't know how to do it. So one of the things that's been a big center of my work has been creating scholarship programs where Black people were invited to take improv classes for free without having to do an essay or any sort of like trauma proof of here's what I've been through and why I deserve it. No, if you want Black people in your theater, you need to create spaces for us to be here. And they had to be offered in groups of 3 to 5 students, because I'm not gonna send one token in to be the one Black person in class and have to deal with all kinds of trauma because they don't have any sort of community. So that is one thing that I think really helped to shift the conversation a little bit in improv, and letting white theater owners know these Black folks are coming in and doing you a service. They are pioneering.
That's right.
So it is your responsibility to make this space as comfortable as possible. You need to have reporting processes for when things go wrong, because they will go wrong. You need to have a clear code of conduct for your teachers and leaders and other students in your environment. In general, also, a lot of my corporate work, where I'm dealing with companies like Nike and YouTube and AdColor, using the tools of improv to help corporate professionals be more effective and thinking on their feet, speaking confidently, working collaboratively. I am often helping people to find their voice and deliver their message effectively. And I think that that is such a huge part of the reparations movement, because the American media is working very, very hard to deliver the message the way that they want to. There's a reason that we see photos of MLK in black and white. Color photography was around then, but it makes it look and feel like all of that was so long ago. I've had so many conversations with adult white folks who believe that, oh, well, slavery was so long ago and civil rights movement was so long ago, like, why are we still talking about this? My mother went to segregated schools, not my grandmother who did as well, but my actual mom. It was not that long ago that Jim Crow, that inequality was on the law books, and it still is, but in much more dramatic ways. It was not that long ago. We still have a long way to go. I don't know if y'all followed, but just recently the United Nations passed a resolution acknowledging the transatlantic slave trade as the worst human rights violation in the history of the world. You know who voted against it? One of 3 countries? Right. The United States. Because, yes, and Israel as well. To acknowledge slavery as the nation's original sin would be to admit that the men who were held up as our founding fathers were criminals, were human traffickers, were not good people. And so my work in reparations really is about storytelling and presenting the message in more accurate ways than it has traditionally been presented in American media. You know, they say that kind of the victor gets to tell the story. And so a lot of what we've been taught and a lot of what we've been told is not accurate, and bringing the truth to light, I think, is an important step of getting people on board with the changes that need to happen.
Thank you.
If
We have 3 minutes, I know y'all have to go to your next class. So quickly, when you speak this time, tie in, and you've already been saying it, how does, no. Considering political climate today in film, you really touched on it. What actions should youth and students be involved in now? So y'all been saying it all along, but quickly while we wrap it up, because they looking at their time, we know they have to go to their next class.
Yeah, I think one of the options is, what I've found out is that many of you are actually descendants of native tribes. And many people, many of you know, a lot of people in this country are, and people don't try to question or try to find out about that. So for me, the whole idea of reparation is so much, it's not a payout. is actually like sovereignty, it's cultural sovereignty and just, passing down what we have. So I think volunteering and finding nonprofits that you can support. I work with a lot of nonprofits and a lot of them are our people founded and they are suffering and we need young voices. We need you guys to support. We need you to pass on the legacies that we are building and leaving behind. So I think oftentimes we tend to forget and we get wrapped up in the other end of social media. But there are those of us that are working, so it's just the same way you're on your phone and you can search the internet, like just go on and just look up, you know, how can I support? Many people don't know about BAIC, which is Baltimore American Indian Center. And they're now only open 1 day per week because they don't have volunteers and we don't have people to support. So I just say, just find.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead.
Just find organizations and centers and ways that you can provide support.
And we do have, she's gonna send, Dr. Pandy will send you their bios, so you'll have their names
We
and
already put it,
information. Right.
it's on Canvas, folks, so you have their
It's on
bios.
Canvas.
Absolutely.
So quickly,
Okay,
what
quickly,
minute
yeah.
did you wrap
I
up?
mean, you can't effectively argue for reparations if you only understand emotionally. You gotta understand it structurally, okay? You gotta know your arguments for and against when you're challenged. So we want you to deal with facts, not just passion. Because they can recognize an argument a person, and sure, my sister here, you can recognize when it's just an argument with passion. But when it's factual and it's structural, no one can argue with you about anything else. Don't let anyone tell you that slavery and racism was 1,000 years ago. When I was a student at Morgan in the 70s, there was a wall from Cold Spring all the way down to where the shopping center is. It was a brick wall. And it was built so that the folks on that side of the neighborhood wouldn't look on campus and see black students going to class. That's not 100 years ago. I'm old, but I'm not that old. But I just want you to understand that if you know, there's an old line, and I'll leave it with this. If you don't know where you come from, you'll never know where you're gonna go.
Okay.
Oh, I would have said exactly, you wrapped it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as y'all remember, I told you, I lived there, I remember that wall.
Yeah.
I lived over
I
there.
got my brick.
in
When
1960.
we took the bricks
I
down.
lived over there in 60. So thank you all for listening and hearing our panelists. We'd like to thank you.
Can we get a picture?
Invite us back.
Yes, we will.
I've learned a lot myself.
There's a Palanago documentary actually.
We will share it with the students after we get a picture. Can we please get a